Watching your TikTok feed, you've been having a good time.
I have.
You've made some pretty cool friends through TikTok.
Yeah,
you got to have some pretty cool experiences.
I have, and never in a million years did I think, number one, that I would 112,000 followers in my 13,000, whatever it is, in my mind, still isn't that much. But never in a million years did I think that I would have that.
There is a podcast in Iowa, Farm4Profit 'twas named by they. They stirred up a banker near, then quick came an auctioneer. Making profit was their first goal, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. These formats shook us to our core. With Farm4Fun, you will not snore. The banker set all mics to on, and the mullet of podcasts was born. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. Before we knew, conversations grew, growing corn even said F you. So won't you join Tanner, Dave, Corey, and crew? Please like, share, review. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go.
Busch. Welcome back to the Farm4Profit Podcast. This is Tanner Winterhoff.
This is Corey Hillebo.
And this is David Whitaker.
Farm4Fun episode. It always opens with a little bit of a beer. What do you call that? A beer crack? It's not a butt crack. Beer crack? Beer
Poppin'
top?
tabs.
Pop tab?
Yeah.
This is...
I'm gonna pop some tabs.
No.
I got
20 bushes in
my
my
pocket.
back seat.
Oh, we're off to a great start. Listeners, if you like what we're doing here on this episode, all of our episodes, please like, rate, review, and share them with your friends. We'd appreciate it if you go out to Apple Podcasts right now and hit the 5 stars and leave us a review. That would be much appreciated. We'll maybe read it right here on the show. We've got one today from Sukup Manufacturing. We partnered up with them at the Farm Progress Show. They are the
Well, the
world's...
review's not from Sukup Manufacturing.
it's brought to you by...
There you go.
The world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, grain drying, and grain handling equipment, Corey.
If they were to review us,
I'm sure it'd be positive.
I'm sure it'd be
Absolutely be
positive.
positive.
I mean,
10 stars out of 5.
10 stars.
10 out of 5. That you can't get any better than that. And you can also text us at 515-207-9640. And a little secret, you can also call that number and leave a voicemail too. Tanner loves getting those. He's the one.
If you call repeatedly, I might answer.
He's the gatekeeper of that. You haven't sent us any lately, so it must be quiet on the line.
Oh, no, we had one just today that was calling to tell us that we could file for tax exemption and waive some of our taxes. It was from Tammy somebody.
Oh, next you're going to start getting the, what's the...
Car warranties?
Yeah, car warranties and all that. But today's was a text from Uppy. So
Yes.
From all the way over in Australia. It says, working on a picker service today and had you playing through the Ute, which is one of their small little like S10 trucks.
Yep.
I'm all caught up. Great stuff, man.
Great stuff.
Thanks,
Uppy.
Uppy.
Tried texting him back. Supposedly, it just doesn't work. I tried to send him a text right back, and it won't do
You
it.
might have to put in the country code.
Oh.
You know,
What
US
number is Australia?
US is country 1.
Yeah,
Should just be able to hit reply, right?
Number 1. Was that established after World War II or what?
I don't know. Somebody
phone number.
that's a listener knows the answer to that.
Thank you, Sukup Manufacturing, for hosting us, being a proud partner. Also, Legacy Farmer for being a proud partner. Just to remind you guys, it is important to protect the financial future of your family farm and operation and set future generations up for success. Jason and his team are extremely excited to partner up with us here at the podcast. After our conversations with Jace, we knew that he had a level of effectiveness in his program. He can teach you, our listeners, how to become financial experts and solve the big problems in your operation, all while building profitable and systemized businesses that can be passed on from generation to generation. Legacy Farmer does all that, Dave.
You guys are going to love this. We got a little glimpse on the background. I'm just telling you, keep listening because they're very thought-provoking.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's truly one of the most comprehensive programs that we've ever seen. Helps you get across your entire business.
Yep, he and his team have a proven strategy that leverages the powerful community and people going through exactly the same experiences as you. It'd be somebody just like you, Corey, going through this. You also get one-on-one support from he and his team to meet your specific needs.
Didn't they work with like 300 families, something like that?
Yep, and growing. So there's one thing that they can promise you is that you will never have a clearer state of mind about your business and the direction you want to go going forward. So join Legacy Farmer today. Go to www.legacyfarmer.org to begin your journey to enriching and protecting your family's legacy. But we're going to jump into a conversation we had at Farm Progress Show. We're going to be doing this quite often because we had great ones. And we can't not let you who didn't attend or sit through these miss out. So we're going to have one here with Chuck Weldon. But before we introduce Chuck, let's drink a beer because we didn't get to have one.
So this is great because Chuck Weldon was the one that brought the beer mixes to the game.
Oh, dang.
Got to crack this. We are mixing, I've never even seen this, Mountain Dew Voodoo. Tanner, what is this?
Well, he did Mountain Dew first. And this is one that says it's a mystery flavor. It says right on there that you don't even know what flavor of Mountain Dew.
Oh.
Corey's getting a taste right away.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
Dew.
this is good.
Voodoo.
It's fruity. I like that better than regular Mountain Dew. Very fruity. Yeah. Heck yeah, Mountain Dew. Busch Light. Always good combo.
There you go. What is the fruit? What is the fruit in that?
Voodoo.
Voodoo. It's not a peach?
You know, I mean, are they really going to tell us?
I don't know. Mystery flavor.
I'm thinking peach.
Saturated fats, trans fat, cholesterol, dietary fiber, vitamin D, calcium, iron,
Code Red
potassium.
401, whatever it was.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. No, that's what it is. It's mystery.
Mystery. That's what I mean. We can't tell what flavor it is. Either way, mixed with Busch Light, Corey approves.
Yeah.
All right, done talking here in the intro, guys. We really appreciate you hanging out with us, but let's get to our conversation with Chuck Weldon.
Up next on the Farm4Fun show, we have a repeat guest. Not the first repeat guest. You thought he might have been. He's a professional hunter, has his own TV show. He's a radio disc jockey, pig farmer. Those huge yields in northern Missouri, Mr. Chuck Weldon.
Good Amayat.
Good what?
Good Amayat. I'm working on my Pennsylvania Dutch. That's good morning.
Oh, good.
Like
Lord.
good on you.
I thought I was having a stroke there for a second. Oh my God!
I thought that would go over funnier.
It was a late night last night,
was a
Chuck. You
late
can't
night.
throw things at me that early.
Yeah.
So, man, good morning. How are you doing? How you feeling?
I'm great, man. How are y'all?
Slower?
Yeah, much slower.
I feel good.
I do too.
I feel good.
You got the old white energy right there. You're ready to get going.
I do. Last night was a inspiration, I think.
The older I get, the smarter I become, and I thank goodness Mike Burkhart was ready to go home, and Noah Korean Cornstar and I that was our Uber, so we shut down early. So
very good.
God
thankfully.
bless Mike Burkhart.
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, let's open it up to the guests. And Chuck, you've been on the show before, but tell us again where you're from, how you involved with agriculture, and a little bit more about yourself.
Gallatin, Missouri, born and raised, still live there today. We are a corn and soybean operation and a contract pork producer for Smithfield Hog Production. And then on top of that, I got the hunting show, and then 6 days a week on the radio, and board of directors for MFA Oil Company. And social media influencer, I guess, if you want to call it that,
You forgot the first rule, though, of something you do early in the morning.
I'm an avid CrossFitter.
Oh, yeah.
You have
You
to
gotta
tell
talk-
us
you gotta
that.
talk about it.
The last couple of days walking around the show has been rough. We've amped our training up a little bit, so I'm extremely sore, and I
Yep.
stay that way most every day. But yeah, avid CrossFitter, and love that. Absolutely love
You'll
it.
have to check out the show we did with Farm Fit Mama yesterday at John Deere.
I talked to her last night a little bit, and we're going to try to connect, and I'm going to try to get on her nutritional program. So
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Yep. You can tell it works. She's a
Absolutely.
walking billboard.
Absolutely. I don't think Busch Light beer is probably in her
In her, yeah.
in her nutrition plan.
You
but-
know what, though? She had a beer with us.
well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about
did.
balance.
It is all about balance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she said you could have the beer. You just then have to maybe make some other sacrifices.
I'm willing.
Yeah, I think all of us. I think all of us are willing.
Yep.
Nice. So you got a chance to wander around Farm Progress Show, or have you been pretty much stuck in a spot?
No. I'm strictly here on pleasure. So I've seen about all the show here the last 2 days, and I haven't seen all of it yet, but I've seen the majority of it. And there's a lot of shiny paint, a lot of things that I would like to have that I can't afford.
I was going to say, what's your number one take home if you could take anything home?
Okay, so you guys are gonna laugh at me. Maybe you haven't seen it, but on Street 12, there's the Rise drone that you can ride on.
We interviewed him.
Oh, did you really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that I sent a picture of that to my wife, and I said I want one, and she says, "What the heck is it?"
Aerial ATV.
I said it's an aerial ATV. And she says, not no, but hell no. So
Did you get a price? Did you get a price on one?
150,000.
Yep.
Yes.
150K.
But
yeah.
it's only for the first 2023. There's only going to be 100 made.
Yeah, I told her I said they're not coming out till like second quarter of next year. I said so I put a $10,000 deposit down, and then my phone started ringing. She says I know they have beer up there. I hope you're joking. So
That would be awesome. But he also said that they got to hand select the first 100 people, and I don't know. Why wouldn't they want to give Chuck Weldon one of those first 100?
exactly
I was trying to get on their trial program. Apparently,
right.
they have this trial program where they give them to you, and you like
Oh, really?
tell them
Try to destroy it. Try to ruin it.
Beta
Well,
tester.
I don't think
Yeah.
that would be good because that might
So
might get
I-
injured doing that.
So I have some aviation experience. I have 60 hours solo time in a Cessna 172, and I've studied aviation and whatnot. So my first question was, this is a helicopter type device. How do you auto rotate it? And they said, well, there's no auto rotation. I said, well, what happens if this motor fails? Well, they said, well, you can still fly it. I said, well, what happens if that motor fails? Well, unlikely, but you can still fly it. I said, well, what happens if the third motor fails? He said it'll never happen.
Then you're done.
I said, well, if it's going to happen to anybody, it's going to happen to me. So
Yeah, he was explaining to us that it would just try to direct you to land as soon as possible. And the best thing about them is you can land them anywhere.
Right.
Like Dave was saying, on an incline or not. I mean,
Water even, I think.
Yep. So, I mean, one motor fails, you should probably start heading to the ground. Second motor fails, you should probably be on the ground.
yeah.
I'm curious how many, they were using it to go check crops, check cattle, check your pivot, etc. 25 miles from home, a certain limited time. We called it the drone that you ride on. It's not a drone, so it's not unmanned aerial device. But I don't know. As an entrepreneur myself, like what? How many people are out there? What is the market? Like how many people, other than a tax write-off for 150 grand, how many people are going to buy this to go check cows?
I probably wouldn't use it for anything agriculture, but I would definitely have a lot of fun in it.
Yeah, and I was thinking about the drone races that you see on TV where these kids,
man.
I call them kids, they're flying things in and out of obstacles. I mean, how
we
cool
go.
would that be to have like 3 of those and just...
Here we go, Chuck. We can start the NASCAR of that.
There you go.
mercy.
Yeah.
Just in danger,
just-
watch out.
I think it's hard to imagine the use for this right now, but someone's got to blaze the trail. I mean, because eventually technology just gets better, and sooner or later it's going to be lighter, and then we're going to have a spray tank on it, and we're going to be spraying stuff with it, or
When I walked in there yesterday, and I was talking to the guy, and of course they've got the thing around it where you can only get so close, and I said, can you get me a little closer? I said, I really want to see this. He goes, yeah, come on. So he takes me around, and I'm looking at it, and as I'm standing there, all I can hear in my head is meet George Jetson. And I think it would be super cool. How beneficial is it really going to be to agriculture? I can't answer that, but
Yeah.
it would be really cool.
Yeah. They had a good use over in the mountains, like where it takes a half a day to ride up.
To ride
or
the horses to
up
go
the
check.
mountain.
I
They
can
get
see
there in
it there.
7 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
know?
As long as you can find some place to land it. I understand you can land on an incline, but you can't land on a rock and then a
I'm
valley.
sure
yeah.
there's a little ledge, or maybe you could build yourself a little landing pad.
platform.
Well, if cattle can stand there, you can probably.
That's
land it.
fair.
That's true. Well, I've been to places out west where, I mean, if you have to go to town to buy a gallon of milk, you have to take a damn cooler and ice with you because it's going to get hot before you get back home. So they could, it's got a little backpack on the back of it, so you could fly to, the Piggly Wiggly and get your milk and fly back home.
There are all kinds of applications. You just now need to get them economically priced.
Yeah.
So we can all have one.
Well, you think about it, though, really. I mean, obviously 25 minutes flight time is not that long, but look at the price of a new Polaris Ranger today.
Yes.
I think they had one up here and it's fully loaded, $30,000. This is $150K. But it's not going to be that long. And Polaris you can buy a good used pickup today for what you can buy a Polaris Ranger for.
Right.
I would say I could get one of those like little Suzuki Intruders or what the heck is the other one? Geo Trackers.
Yep.
Put mud tires on them, 4-wheel drive, and you can take it to town.
Exactly.
You can get them for $4,000 all day long on Facebook Marketplace.
Absolutely. Yep.
So it's been quite a while, Chuck, since we've had you on. So we appreciate you hanging out with us. Of course, being first one of the day here at Farm Progress Show, we're planning to have a lot of fun. But watching your TikTok feed, you've been having a good time.
I have.
You've made some pretty cool friends through TikTok. You got to have some pretty cool experiences.
I have, and never in a million years did I think, number one, that I would 112,000 followers in my 13,000, whatever it is, in my mind, still isn't that much. But never in a million years did I think that I would have that. And then somebody like Justin Nunley that has 5 million, sends me a message, says, "Send me your number. Want to be friends." And so he's invited me to a couple different NASCAR events. I got to go to one in Nashville. Didn't get to go in spring because I was planting. He invited me to Bristol here in a few weeks, but I think I'm going to be combining. So I took him up on the Nashville one. Got to hang out with Gary LaVox. Gary and I now text pretty regularly. He's supposed to come up and go hunting with me. Got to meet Hunter Girl, who was on American Idol. Text and Snapchat with her on occasion, and of course it's always fun to play their songs on the radio now and say, "My buddy."
Gary is Rascal Flatts.
He's the lead singer of Rascal Flatts. They have since broken up, I guess is the correct word. He just released his first ever solo single here a week or so ago. And he's supposed to come hunt with me this fall. Now he's still touring like crazy as a solo artist. So that was really cool to get to meet him, and being with Justin, got to hang out in pretty exclusive places at the racetrack. So got to meet a lot of people within NASCAR, and never know. When I went on the trip, I told my wife, my dad, my hired man, I said, I don't care how mad any of y'all get. I said, I'm going because I'll never get another opportunity to do something like this.
Yeah.
So it's been very cool, and it's. It's opened a few doors for a few things. I still don't have those big brand deals and all that like those big guys do, but it's been fun for sure.
That is cool.
It's not a bad guy to tag along with.
No. And he is such a great guy. He really is. I mean, I don't want to boost his ego any more than what it's already boosted, but he is such a great guy and a giving guy, and I'm proud to call him my friend.
It's quite amazing. I mean, a guy with 5 million followers, you got to imagine his phone is, maybe he has multiple phones.
So
it's just burning up.
And maybe, I don't know how much I should tell about Justin, but he called me the other day, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, I'm going to the phone store. And let me backtrack. When we were in Nashville, we're riding on a golf cart, and he drops his phone, and it almost gets run over by a car. And of course, his moneymaker is that phone. And I said a few nasty words, and I said, "Hopefully you have another one." And he said, and it didn't hurt it, but he said yes. He said, I've got a second one. But when he called me the other day, he said he was going to the phone store to get another phone. I said, "Oh, did your phone break?" He goes, "No." He says, I guess I finally made it. He says, "I have to get a second phone." And I said, "You've got to get a phone that only the special people have the number for."
That's why he doesn't call us back anymore.
He's keeping the other one, but I've watched, and what's crazy is I've got a daily snap streak with about 10, 12 people. At 45, it sounds weird saying I have a snap streak, but I do. So, and then of course I've got the Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I don't turn a single notification on. Not because I don't want to hear my phone beep or vibrate all day long. That man has every notification for every app that he's got turned on.
How?
And I'm like, how does your battery last more than 10 minutes? Because it's constantly going off. And he'll tell you, if you text me and I don't respond back within 10 minutes, text me again. And if I don't respond back, text me again. I'm like, well, I don't want to be that way. He says, no, you have to. Because I can only imagine that, his texts are just one after another. It'd be really easy. Hell, I have people that I forget to text or email back. And it's only because, there are 5 or 6 down the list and I don't see it. I can only imagine his phone, how many of those are coming in.
Yeah, my problem is I have to leave it unread. Otherwise, if I clicked on it and I don't
forget about it.
To go back to it, I either have to respond now or I have to, avoid curiosity, so that way I can come check it later.
And an email, you can say, Mark is unread. A text message, you can't. So if I've read it, I'm like, doggone, I got to come back to this later. I've been screenshotting it every time. Like, all right, it's in my picture. I just remember.
But then you
I got to
go back.
Go back to your pictures at least.
Yep.
Because by the time I get back to it, I might have had 8 other calls. And so it's like, crap, who was that? What was that? Go to your pictures, and then I got a screenshot of it.
And technology is really nice, but I've got one company that I buy hog barn parts from, and they email me the invoices. Well, about 60 days, they'll call me and say, hey, we haven't received payment. And I'm like, dadgummit, and I go back through my email. There it is, Or I'm doing a massive delete, of stuff and accidentally delete it. And so I hate getting invoices through email.
Yeah, I'm glad that Dave, when we first started this podcast, started putting stuff in the cloud, because there's been twice to where I've done a massive delete of the Farm4Profit email address, and all of a sudden all the shows are gone. Everything that we recorded is gone, and it's like, oh, crap.
Yep.
I feel like some point I need to get a second email because Gmail keeps threatening that I have too much storage, and I can't go back and delete anything. But there's so much fluff in there.
I have a
need to hire
Hotmail.
someone to do that.
I have a Hotmail account, and I think I still have the first email I got the day I signed it up. But
Was it a chain letter?
I don't know what it was.
Remember those?
It's not AOL. It's not AOL.
You'll get good luck if you forward this to 100 other people.
Yeah. Well, and what's cool about it is my dad's sister, my aunt, that's no longer with us. I've still got a bunch of joke emails from her AOL address.
Those are always good.
And then my great aunt, she's no longer with us. She used to have a computer that she didn't know how to do anything but forward emails. And so I have a bunch of joke emails from her. So it is kind of cool to go back and read those. But it'd take me half a day to get back to them, So.
Did you ever do the AIM messaging?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Q yesterday was like, BRB. I'm like, TTYL. I'm like,
I remember when you could get on, Yahoo Chat. That's back when we had dial-up, and I'd do that every evening. I'd get on Yahoo Chat, and whether it was pro wrestling or country music or just for boys or whatever, I'd get on there, and that was the good old days.
We had a customer at the bank the other day that the phone number they had given us when they opened a new account was a fax machine number. Like, it was clearly going to be a spoof account, and we have processes of verifying everything. And the young gal at the teller line that was making the call to verify phone number gets the information, and I can hear it over her speakerphone. It sounds like the dial-up tone. And I said, what are you doing? Do you have internet from the 90s? And she looked at me like she had no idea what was going on. She's a college kid at Iowa State. Had no idea what dial-up sounded like.
Yeah.
She goes, I don't even know what this noise is. Like, well, you called a fax machine, but it really sounds like what it used to be for me to get on and chat with all my friends.
I want to do an intro to that sound sometime.
So what, does that have to be like a really old guest? Or
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
You let me know. I'll find it, and then you tell me when you want it.
Yep.
That would drive everybody nuts.
Yep.
I still think we should do an intro sometime with like a cop siren in the background, because I know every time I hear one of those,
Because they're all listening to it while you're driving.
But every time, I can't remember what song it is that comes on the radio that has. I look over my shoulder like,
Nelly?
crap.
I think it's a Nelly song.
Finally Friday. If you listen to any Finally Fridays on the radio.
Yep.
Every time you hear that, like, what did I know. I thought they're speeding. And
I about had a wreck the other day. This is no joke. The radio station I work for, the owner's son has this. It's called Midwest Customs. So he takes trucks and jacks them up and does all this, and then he sells a bunch of just car parts. Well,
Maybe they want to make a truck.
so he's got this commercial where he's talking about brakes. So all of a sudden it's this squealing brake sound and this hold up, stop. And I'm driving through an intersection. It was one of a four-way light, and all of a sudden these brakes go to squealing. I literally locked up the brakes on my pickup, and I'm like, God, I don't know that's the best sound to put into a radio commercial.
yeah, I think I'd have told somebody about that.
Do you think a lawyer could pick that apart if something bad happened?
Oh, I'm the right lawyer, I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
That's scary.
So, and the other radio station that I used to work for, what they would do when had a severe thunderstorm watch, they would put a tone in that would beep every 30 seconds. It was the same damn tone as my KPM3 Kinsey monitor back in the day. And I was planting beans. We had a severe thunderstorm watch one day, and every time that tone would go off, I'd stop the dang tractor because I thought I had a row unit plugged up. And I worked for him at the time, and I called him and I said, I appreciate what you're doing, I understand what you're doing, but I said, you got to change tone. I said, I can't do this.
You got too many farmer listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. I remember back a while back, I felt like your TikTok was blowing up, but you were in the middle of a manure pit fixing like your hog manure system. Any new changes there? Have you got more manure videos coming?
You reslatted a barn, right?
I reslatted a barn. So one barn that we reslatted, we had a bunch of buildup in it. So we were in there trying to clean the buildup out. Luckily, no, I have not been swimming in lagoons or doing
That's what
that.
I think made you famous.
Yeah,
swimming
and, and I have no plans to do that in the future. Now, yesterday, Steven, my employee, he's spread manure, and he called me. We was at John Deere having a beer, and he called me and he says, PTO caught on fire. Oh. And I'm like, what? He said, yeah, PTO. And I said, slow down, spell this out for me. We didn't grease the U-joint, and apparently the U-joint was dry, and it got hot and created a little bit of a, I don't think it was a fire, it just got hot enough, it melted the plastic on the PTO, I'm like, well, there goes a blown TikTok opportunity. Here I am, I'm in Iowa drinking beer while the PTO's on fire, because I would have most definitely made a video about that, so... Yeah,
it's funny that's the first thing we think of now in a disaster situation. Don't go find the fire extinguisher.
Exactly.
Get the phone.
Get the phone.
Yeah.
Well, Tanner had one of those with a combine. You had millions of views.
Well, I did, and then they all got taken down. Yep.
And I have to be. I'm so scared now about what I post because I'm under an account warning. I feel like a TikTok bad boy. Because I'm under the account warning.
You just got to have Justin take care of that for you.
Well, I've thought about making that call, but so
you've got the new number.
I don't have the new number. But every video that I've had taken down for whatever dumbass reason, I've appealed and I've got them all back. But all of those initial violations still count against you.
Oh.
So I did some research and it said basically be a good boy for like 2 or 3 months and the account warning will go away. So I'm hoping that every time I post something, it's like, okay, I need to be, not PG-13. I need to be PG, and make sure that I'm not poking fun at anybody. There's not anything dangerous going on over my shoulder that I'm unaware of. With one, and I actually started doing more on Instagram because one more and they could take it all away. And I don't know if I have the energy to try to get it all back.
That would be bad to try to start again.
Yeah.
That's my issue is my kids will be in the background. And then I've had more videos taken down for child endangerment.
Yeah.
Of them just playing and doing a regular thing or riding on a golf cart or whichever.
You're just saying you shouldn't have kids.
Don't have to worry about having any more.
And I had my first ever ban that I got, and it was like a 48-hour posting ban. I got back in the spring, and I was running a tractor with my Diamond Harrow, which has been a large topic of conversation in my TikToks over the years. Mm-hmm. And they took me down for dangerous acts. But I've got people that I follow and watch every day that are driving in their car, and not doing it hands-free. Mine, I usually have it mounted on, a phone holder or something. But they're driving and, doing this. And I don't know if people just don't have anything better to do, so they're reporting it, or if the app itself is catching it, but it's definitely not catching these other people.
I make videos in my car almost every auctioneering video I have is in my holder in my car, so it looks steady, I guess.
Right.
But I'm normally driving. I've never had a warning, never had a ban.
I called Justin and I said, listen, I've had 2 videos in a week taken down, and now I'm banned for 48 hours. Making videos in my tractor. And he says, are you driving? And I'm like, yeah. He says, you can't do that. And I said, everybody else does it. And he said, well, for some reason they're catching you. What did he tell me? Something about caption the video for educational purposes or
closed course.
No, it was professional something. Do not try it. And I'm like, I'm not typing that crap every time I want to make a video of, the ground's a little wet here. I think maybe I should tile this because that's been another fun one of mine. I said, I'm not doing that every time. So I made a series of videos from like my tractor and my sprayer, and I started every one of them saying, okay, look, I'm stopped. Here it's in park. I'm not going anywhere. And that got old. So
yeah, but you can't tile out those wet spots because then you'd have no other way to get stuck.
Exactly. Which luckily we haven't. It seems like them Larson boys are stuck every other day. We haven't had that problem in a while. So
Yeah, I feel like after conversations with those boys here at this show, that's what it is. Well, they don't want to intentionally screw something up, but it is definitely, what did Duggo say, that it's a lot more calm now around disaster situations.
When the camera's out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whip the camera out, and you don't get as mad at each other when you can't get the quad track pulled out or whatever it was.
And those guys are very PG on their getting to know the millennial farmer a little bit, not so much personally, but through his TikTok. I found out that the guy that you see on YouTube is not the guy that you see on TikTok, but those guys, Instagram and everything, those guys are very wholesome, very PG. So
We were told last night that some people thought that maybe his TikTok hurt his brand a little bit.
Oh, really? You think so?
And I don't.
I think,
Maybe for some corporate sponsors, but I think as far as it goes, like with guys like us, I think it makes it go further.
me too. And I find myself watching more of his stuff probably today because I've never met him personally, but we've texted a few times, and then watching his TikTok to realize that he's just like me.
Yep.
He says bad words. He has bad days, and
Yep.
and
He just needs to find different sponsors. If those are going to have an issue with the real content, then he just needs to build new corporate relationships.
that's my thing too. Is I've tried to decide, if I want to try to take this farther, I need to, if I'm going to get the branded deals with these companies, I'm probably going to have to change my ways because I get a little vulgar. But at the same time, I always said with my TV show, our TV show, it's not my TV show, but with our TV show and our sponsors, we've had to do everything on Facebook and Instagram and kind of tote that line. So when I got on TikTok, I said, I don't care if every sponsor gets a TikTok page and whatnot. This is my outlet to be me. If I want to say a bad word, if I want to have a chew in my mouth, if I want to drink a beer, this is my app for me to be me. So I don't want to change who I am just because Sukup, says, we'll give you a branded deal, but you have to stop doing this.
I think you're right in that. I think the industry's moving towards the real.
Well, yeah. I don't want to be a corporate sellout just for the almighty dollar. And how are you going to sell something? And I'm just using these guys for an example, but how am I going to sell Sukup by, being fake?
Authenticity.
Authenticity is
Kind of like what Matt Cook said about marketing, and it's building a brand. And
Right.
It's not just about the object. It's more about the family and what you're about, your beliefs. And
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm on board.
yeah.
Well, we are recording this at 9 o'clock-ish in the morning, and we did not bring any beer for this Farm for Fun show.
No.
That's okay.
Yeah, we can imagine it.
But we will have to, when this gets ready to come out, we'll have to try one. We'll have to come up with something to mix with the Busch Light
There you go.
to go along with your theme. We appreciate you doing that and making the Mountain Dew and the beer so popular because we've mixed all kinds of crap.
Maybe when we do the intro or the outro for the show, we'll call Chuck.
Yeah, we could do that.
Uppy just sent me a TikTok this morning. He was mixing Busch Light with beets.
Yeah, beet
juice.
Yes.
So, yeah, we'll have fun with that.
No, that doesn't even sound good.
I brought a whole cooler of random stuff. I grabbed like fruit punch and pickles,
Apple
and
juice.
I had a latte, an iced latte. So
I honestly feel bad for the guy that originally made that video because I'll go through and I'll Justin taught me a different way to do it, but I would go through and like every video that maybe I wanted to stitch, duet, or whatever. But I didn't realize the favorite button was on there where you could save it to your favorites.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what he does. So anyway, there was a guy that did the Mountain Dew and Busch Light. So I thought I liked it, and the whole idea behind it was I was just going to go duet it. Well, I went back and I couldn't find it. Apparently I did not like it. And I said, well, I guess, I'll just make one of my own. I'm so glad that I couldn't find it because the duet was going to go nowhere. And then the actual video,
Yep.
and I don't think he had that many views. And I don't know why I had so many views. But, man, it hit and it took off. So,
Oh, that's awesome. You mentioned your hunting show a little bit. We should probably talk about that. You got any big ones on camera this year?
it's a slow. I haven't checked my phone today, but it's been a slow year. I don't have anything that's got me all. I've got a couple gnarly 8s that have got, and the older I'm getting, the more I'm getting into the, it doesn't have to have 15 points. The more I've got a couple gnarly 8s that have got me excited. My dad actually called me yesterday and was looking for. I used to be a team roper. He was looking for a lariat rope, and I said, "What are you doing?" Well, he found a dead buck in the pond, and it was a really nice 8-pointer. But I'm really hoping that we're not getting into a EHD situation. But I got 4 cell cams out right now. I don't have any other cameras out, but and we can feed up until 10 days prior to season. So come the 5th of September, I have to make sure all my feed's gone. But on those 4 cell cams, I don't have anything that makes me go, "Oh, I can't wait for season."
Yeah.
You know, so
Same here.
We're starting to hold some more deer. We put in some CRP around our main hunting area and about 30 acres, and that's holding some stuff.
Yeah.
We don't have any big ones, but we do have a drop tine. It's a younger drop tine now, and I'm like, that's the first we've ever had.
well,
in our area, so-
I had one last year, and this seems to happen every year. I had a huge deer last year that I know made it through season that I haven't seen. But I had a buck last year that had about a 2-inch drop tine. He was a mainframe 10, had about a 2-inch drop tine, and I took the picture to every one of my Mennonite neighbors, and I said, "If you see this deer, do not kill this deer." I mean, this would have been a deer that, and I say this jokingly, but I could have had a Make-A-Wish kid at the farm,
yeah.
and this deer could have walked out, and I would have said, "No, can't shoot that one." I mean, and then the Mennonites found a dead cut in wood this winter.
Dang it.
And,
Do the Mennonites have to buy tags?
Oh yeah. And they've been really, I was very nervous when they moved in because every one of them has 10 kids and about 9 of them are boys and they all want to hunt. And I was like, we're not going to have a deer left.
Yeah.
And they've been very good. I've only had 2 of my target deer in the last probably 9 years that they've killed. They're very good about shooting does. Because they're obviously, I don't care how long you marinate the horns, you can't eat them. Mm-hmm. So they've been very good at shooting does, and they've killed some nice deer. But like I said, they've only killed 2 of my target deer. And every time they kill one, I mean, I either hear about it, see it in the back of a buggy, or they come and tell me about it.
Yeah.
And or I'll go score one for them or something. So they haven't hurt us, but they're just as passionate about the management as I am, really. So.
You mentioned Make-A-Wish, and I remember I was on a live with you, I think, in Denton.
Yep.
Was on that.
Yep.
And you were going to try to get him down for a hunt.
Well, I was going to try to get him. It's weird. He's a big fan of Adam Sanders, who's an up-and-coming independent country singer. And I've got friends that I did the Dream Season show with Drury's that are really good friends with Adam. And so I reached out to them, and I said, let's get Adam, come to Missouri, let's get Denton. And I haven't pressed the issue, but I never have heard back from him. I'd love to get Denton to come out and hunt with us. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah,
May not have Adam there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember watching that and reach out to you. If Farm4Profit could do anything to help that situation, we'd love to see him. He's a pretty cool dude on TikTok.
He is. Yeah, he's an inspirational young man for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we always like to try and do something game, like a fun game. Sometimes with couples, we play the newlywed game. We gave some marriage advice here at Farm Progress Show. We played a game that got a little criticism, so we switched. We're going to do a little Would You Rather.
Okay.
So we're going to get Chuck's opinion, and then I'll have you guys, Dave, Corey, you guys can step in on this one as well.
Okay.
So the first one is around the conversation of giant deer. Let's just use the term giant and throw it into, would you rather have a giant tongue or giant feet?
Oh wow.
I'll let Chuck go.
Well, we need to tote a pretty careful line here.
I think I know his answer.
Yeah.
I think I know his answer.
I guess I'll go with tongue.
Giant tongue.
Me too.
Dave?
Oh, I didn't know it was coming my way, too. I was out of the game. Here we go.
Giant tongue.
You know what they say
giant
about
feet?
big feet, though?
Yeah, giant feet sounds good.
Dave wants the giant feet.
I'm in, sure.
All right. Would you rather eat a rotten egg or drink sour milk?
Ooh.
I hate milk, so I'll do the egg.
I think I would try to get the egg down before the shell cracks.
You're
whole.
going to put the whole thing down.
Yeah, and then it can just do its thing in my stomach.
Part of your giant tongue.
Yeah.
Part of your giant tongue. I don't know if I've ever had a rotten egg. I'd
You should try one.
Put some Lucky Charms with the sour milk. Sour milk.
You know what deviled eggs makes you do at Thanksgiving time? I wonder what that would do.
This one, I think I know Chuck's answer, and I think I'm going to know Corey's. But would you rather walk barefoot in a public restroom or barefoot in a hog confinement?
Hog confinement all day long.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Because I would answer the same way. Dave,
Yep.
would you do the same
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Why is it so disgusting that we wouldn't do it in a public restroom?
I tell you what, I won't. We're in Iowa, so I'll be nice. I won't mention the name of the gas station, but we have one in Missouri. I'm afraid to get an STD every time I walk in the place. The bathroom is absolutely horrendous. I mean, you go in and use the elbow to open the door. I walk on the sides of my feet. I mean, it's nasty. Yeah.
Stuff sticking on the floor.
That's probably the biggest issue I have is why is the floor sticky?
Yeah, I don't know.
So like it's weird with me, and not to get off topic, but like if my dog makes a mess on the floor, I can't hardly bring myself to clean it up without
terrible.
gagging. But if I'm in the hog barns, and I'm working on the flush system, and I get lagoon water on my hand, I'll wipe it off on my pants and put a chew in my mouth with the same hand, and it doesn't bother me a bit. So.
That's the same thing. I've eaten a ton of sandwiches that have probably landed in places that people wouldn't want a sandwich to land, but you're hungry and you just finished eating it. And you just think about what's on your hand on a daily basis. I think that's why I don't get sick very often.
I mean, if you get pigs or cattle in a little sloppy mess, I mean, it's nothing to get a little in your mouth.
Right.
know?
Right. Well, I
think
watched
nothing about it.
Farmer Artawisco one day was walking around in the dairy barn, with her shorty shorts on, barefooted, and I'm like, girl, I know you can afford shoes, I mean, but I would much rather do that than walk through the bathroom.
Yeah. And I expected the answer to go that way.
Yep.
And just the psychology behind that, because we've got some porta potties right outside of the booth over here, and the first day I had a guy come out of one of them saying, I've never seen one that full. Somebody went in and looked at it and he goes, it's going to spill.
Oh my!
I was at a concert once. I was actually here. Luke Bryan had a concert here, one of his first farm tours, and they did not plan for that many people, and all the porta potties were overflowing. There was a puddle on the outside. It was sick.
Did you see my TikTok the other day about the porta potty?
Yes.
So if you haven't seen it, and I was over by the Syngenta beer garden, and I was dreading going in the thing, and so I went in there and I was like, what is that smell? And somebody had brought, we'll just assume that it was legal recreational marijuana that they brought. It's
not legal here.
But they had decided to light up in the porta potty, and I'm like, I never liked that smell before, but considering where I'm at, this ain't so bad.
So bad.
Kind of like incense in there. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Comparatively wise, exactly right.
Yeah.
That's funny. Last one I've got before we move on to some more conversation is, would you rather tell a lie for a good reason or tell the truth for a bad reason? Tell a lie for a good reason or tell the truth for a bad reason.
You can always, kind of fabricate a story a little bit to make it funnier or more dramatic. So I'm going to go with lie for a good reason.
You're married, right?
I am.
Okay, fair enough.
Smart
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Man, that's
I'll go that route as well.
That's a catch-22 because I don't like the lie, but sometimes it probably just stretching the truth maybe a little bit has to happen.
Yeah.
So how do you, so what is telling the truth for a bad reason?
Like when I rolled my buddy's razor, you just got to call and own up. I don't know. What are you going to tell him? That you didn't do it?
Right.
Came like that?
Well, the other day I had to call my wife and I said, next time you go to Hamilton, you need to stop at the bank and sign some loan papers. She says, what for? And I had to tell her the truth that I bought a combine, so, I mean, I would have loved to lie to her.
We bought a combine.
Yeah.
Remember the last time we bought a combine?
Yeah. Did you? There's a meme going around Facebook right now where it's you said no more tractors, and then the opposite side it says no. I said no, comma, more tractors.
Yeah.
I'm like, perfect.
There we go.
Perfect.
No, come on.
I hadn't seen that. I thought you were going to say, but honey, this is a combine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you get for a combine?
7250 case. Yeah.
I don't even know the numbers. Is that a big class
That's
7?
Class 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the 50 series is their newest series of this is a 2019, 600 and some odd engine hours on it. So
Getting into
updated
the
my
def.
Well, my other combine's
Oh, was
got
it?
def, yeah. So updating my dad's old combine. I think it was a 04, I think 2388. So
Those are good ones.
they're a good combine, yeah. Sold it to a young farmer down in central Missouri, so hopefully it'll last him a long time and he can have it.
Good. Well, did you get a deal on a bin before we got up here?
Haven't yet. Still working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any Sukup bins?
Yeah. We've got a couple. Yep. We built. I say we. My dad built one, and my cousin. We sharecrop a bunch of acres with him. They both built one here. I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. And I think that is our only 2 Sukup bins, and we've got a bunch of old bins. I don't know. We might have a couple older ones. I'm not for certain.
Who was here yesterday that said how good the deal the shed was?
Kelly Garrett.
Yeah, Kelly Garrett was here
right.
yesterday, and it was back in 2012 or 13.
Yeah, steel frame versus wood post and beam.
They got twice the size of a shed for like $20,000 more than a wood structure.
Double the square footage for 20% more in cost.
Yep.
See, I don't know. I don't know that that's the same today.
I don't know if it is. Steel's gone up, but so is wood.
Wood went way up. Yeah.
Yep.
So it was last April of 2021. I guess this is 22, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So April of 21. There's a company based out, I believe, Overland Park or Olathe, Kansas. Top Line Buildings, I believe it is. But they're a steel frame building. So I called and quoted one, and they gave me a price on it. And this was like the 20th of the month. And they said, at the end of the month, we're going up 5%. And I'm like, I really don't want to, I'll go to a Ford dealership and make a knee-jerk reaction on a vehicle. But, this is a 6-figure project. I said, I really don't want to I want to think about this. I want to make sure that, the site, and what I should have done was just bought the building,
right?
The steel, and then took my time on concrete and location and all that stuff. So anyway, that 12 months later, they said that same building was 50% higher.
Oh.
It was actually a year to the day. I didn't even realize it, but some neighbors were building a wood structure, local building supply in Jamesport, Missouri. So I called them, and while I was talking to them on the phone, in the back seat of my pickup, I'd found the bid sheet on the steel building, and it was 1 year to the day, and they actually came in like $15,000 cheaper than what the steel building was the year before.
Really? No.
So, and I don't know. I mean, is anything going to, when all of this crap, if it ever ends, is any of these prices going to come back down?
Right.
Most likely not. Like I said, I should have just bought the building and went out and threw it in the weeds, and then took my time, and then just paid to have it put up.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, Chuck, we're getting near the end of our time here, but our listeners always want to know what's coming down the pipeline. What's next for Chuck Weldon? Is there something big? Obviously, we got to get the crop out of the field, but any big plans?
Not really. No, it's harvest time is coming up, and we're excited about that. We think we've got a great crop in the field. We've been very blessed this year, so we've got that coming up, and then some hunting, and that's really I don't have nothing earth-shattering. I mean, not going to be starring in a movie or I keep waiting. I do have a rodeo background. I keep waiting for the folks from Yellowstone to call to need their next cowboy, but that hasn't happened yet either. So
right in a new character.
Yeah. So, but no, nothing exciting coming up. Just radio every day, CrossFit every day, and farming.
Did you hear the song that the band played last night? The last song they played?
I did.
Dave wrote that.
I
song.
heard that, and that was impressive. I've wrote several things. So when Gary LaVox put out his first song, it's called "Get Down Like That," and it reminded me of a song that I wrote.
Oh, really?
And I'm serious. So he texted me the song like 3 days before it came out, and he said, "Give it a listen, and you can use this link to add it to the radio station if you want to." So I listened to it. I'm like, holy crap! I like this, and it's written by Thomas Rhett and Hardy. So it's a good song. But it reminded me of a song that I wrote. So I texted him and I said, I wrote something that, I feel like it's almost like the prelude to this. I said, you mind if I send it to you? Because I've got 8 or 10 of them, in the bank that I'm just waiting for the right person. He said, yeah, man, send it to me. And I texted it to him, and I can't even remember the name. It's talking about an old dirt road, growing up on an old dirt road. He texts me back and goes, I grew up on that same road. It's a great song. It's got great potential. I grew up on that road. I'm like, all right, well, so songwriting is probably not in my future.
Mine either. Yeah.
So
what's it take to get a song on the radio? Like, do you have any pull of that? Like, hey, I got my buddy's song here, or it's actually like more corporate than that?
It's a little more corporate than that. So I did the Brian Andrews thing. Of course, that kid lives in the town that the radio station's in, and
that's the liquor and pills.
Yeah,
guy, right?
yeah. So I got him on the air, but like I said, our radio station is in Carrollton, Missouri. He's born and raised in Carrollton. So I had a little bit of a pull there. When Gary's song came out, I texted our music director and I said, this song's coming out. Don't even wait to find it, because we got a music service that it comes through. I said, here's the link, go put it on the air.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, not surprisingly, after I did the deal with Brian Andrews, my Instagram, and that's back when you could get DMs on TikTok in the filtered file or whatever it was. Can't even get that now. But my DMs were just full every day of somebody, hey, give this a listen.
Right.
Can you get me on there? And I'd love to do every one of them, but you just can't do it. So I mean, the guys last night, I told them, I said, just keep plugging social media. I mean, so many artists today that I play, Priscilla Block and Ashley Cook and Cameron Marlowe and Corey Kent, just to name a few, Nate Smith. Every one of those people got their start on TikTok or YouTube, Facebook, or all of the above. And when I did the deal with Brian, I said, back in the day, people had to move to Nashville, play the guitars and honky tonks around Nashville and just hope that somebody would recognize you. You don't have to do that anymore. All you got to do is buy a decent microphone, a little soundproof room in your house, and a mixer, and throw it on the internet. And if you're worth a hoot, it could work out really well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Kicks, one of our smaller country stations, does like a new tunes at noon or something like that, and plays some smaller stuff.
I voice track my show from home. I would love the opportunity, and I just don't have the time. But I would like to do something like on the weekends where we did. There was a guy that it was a satellite service radio station, but the guy used to do. It was called Bar Bands and Basement Tapes, and he would play. Just like guys we heard last night, the guys that are playing your honky tonks on Saturday night in Central Iowa, he would play their music. I would love to be able to do that, like on a Saturday afternoon or something. But I don't have the time.
Yeah. Did you know Tanner was a disc jockey? Did we talk about that?
We talked about that. I actually went back and listened to that podcast the other day, and you guys had your mullet wigs on, and
we went all out. We thought about bringing them.
Yeah, but you wouldn't let us.
And Tanner was talking about how y'all was at the college station playing rock and roll. Yeah.
Sunny Side Up in the Morning. We couldn't come up with anything better for the title of a show than Sunny Side Up in the Morning.
Huh.
As long as the sun came up, that was good. Yep. Chuck, we ask all our guests the same question. What is some of the best advice you have ever been given?
Oh, wow.
Listeners, go out and find us wherever you get your podcast. Please leave us a review. 5 stars is preferred. If you've got a topic or a guest or a good radio station name, send it to 515-96. Ooh, I did that wrong. 515-207-9640. You'd think a disc jockey would know his own phone number.
So I don't know that it's so much advice, but I remember this was something that jumped out at me so strongly when I was a kid. It was a magazine. I was in FFA, and I think it was an FFA magazine, but it had a quote in it. And I cut the quote out, and for many years it hung on my refrigerator, and it says, "You are the only one that can tell yourself that you can't and don't have to listen." And I kind of live by that quote. I mean, if somebody tells me I can't, it challenges me even more to prove to them that I can. But you most definitely, if you tell yourself you can't, you don't have to listen to yourself, and you can prove to yourself that you can. So I don't know that that's advice, but it's kind of a quote that I live by. So
self-talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, good. This has been a pleasure. This is, again, a second time for Chuck being on the podcast, but I hope it's not the last.
Well, who do I have to pay for this? Because I pretty much begged Corey to let. I said, let's do a podcast again together while I'm up there. So
$5,000 that'll do.
Payable to Corey Hillebo. Is this how this works?
Just right to me.
Right to new agent. That's good. Well, listeners, thanks for hanging around with us. Corey, what do you say?
I say crack a beer. You deserve it.